Kidschool is about a student whose father is an alcoholic and he's abusive, and he forces Adrian, the character, to work and support him, and Adrian struggles between work and the principal. I'm sorry, the school. He struggles between the school and work, and so he's pretty much failing in school, and he's not doing very good, and nobody's listening to him, and he has needs, and they're all being ignored. And so finally, after a really bad day, he snaps. He takes the principal up to the snow and forces him to snowboard at gunpoint with the same ruthlessness that they show him as a student, and the same ruthlessness that his father shows him as a son. I think Adrian is the icon of the mid to late 90s, early millennium high school student. I think he symbolizes what most high school kids struggle with. I know that I struggled with it when I was in high school. And that it's like the demands that are put on you, and you've got all these demands, but you have it's like as life has progressed, like that emotion of caring that humans are supposed to show each other has disintegrated. And now everything is a system. Everything is a machine. Everything is a computer. And everybody and everything gets processed, and it's like, well, that's pretty much it. And so that's how I would say Adrian is. Adrian is crying from the inside. He is a good person. He's as good as they get. You know what I mean? And if somebody would just show that little bit of interest, or see that little gleaming star, or whatever it is, see that diamond in the rough, whatever it is, and then make it shine, he would be like such a contribution to society. But because everybody neglects it, it's like it just. Originally in the script, Adrian was supposed to be working at the Humane Society with animals. Probably not getting paid a lot because most of it is volunteer, you know what I mean? But he wanted to do that because he wanted to do something that was important, you know what I mean? Because he's a good person inside. And he wants to stand up for all kids who are neglected, and that's like his contribution towards society. Playing the role of Adrian was very close to home for me. It really was. I mean, it was a stretch in a lot of aspects because I'm not as courteous as Adrian is. You know what I mean? I'm not as kind-hearted as Adrian is in a lot of aspects. But Adrian was very, he was extremely loving. He was shy but firm. He was very polite. But as the late great Mike Andres would say, most people mistake politeness for weakness, and that should be like the banner for Kidschool. You know what I mean? He is totally polite. People constantly mistake it for him being weak. They feel like his father feels like he can walk all over him. The principal feels like he can bully him around. You know what I mean? And Adrian he wants to avoid conflict, but at the same time he stands his ground. There's a certain line that Adrian won't cross. You know what I mean? He'll be courteous and he'll be kind, but when the time comes, he won't it's not sell out, but he won't he's just true to himself and his beliefs and his morals. And he won't fall back just to be overly kind. You know what I mean? Like in the Johnny Nero scene. He could have just sat there and listened to Johnny Nero tell him, how jacked up a teacher is and how screwed up, blah, 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 blah. But then Adrian's belief in his morale came into play, and he felt the need to say something. When I was in high school, it was just bad. I hated high school. I dropped out of high school when I was a sophomore. and I took my proficiency exam, and went from there. But when I was in high school, I noticed as I got older through school, like I loved my kindergarten teacher, I loved my first grade teacher, my second grade teacher was great, fourth grade great, fifth grade great, sixth was great, seventh was great, then it started to change. Eighth grade, teachers seemed less interested in students. You know what I mean? It became more of a system. There was less one-on-one, and everything. It was like nobody seemed to really pay attention to kids' individual needs. It's like everybody wants you to be a doctor, a lawyer. Anything other than that is not is like if like Mike Andres told me once before we started shooting this, he's like, there's people who, we need janitors in life, we need we need construction people in life, and people just want to do that, but they're pushed in school and they can't graduate, and they get OCSs and they get detentions and they get punished for not wanting to be doctors, for not wanting to be lawyers, and for not wanting to be like ultra geniuses. You know what I mean? And that's like where the system comes into play. Like for me, I excelled extremely in drama. I was in all the plays. I got all the leads since I was a freshman. You know what I mean? But they tried to keep me from doing plays because I was getting D's or F's in mathematics, or D's and F's in PE or whatever, something that I didn't really care about. And I know that we want our children to be well-rounded in school and stuff, but I just think that, if somebody really wants to do something, really wants to, they just want a simple life, or they just want to be something, then we should allow them to be that. And when I was in high school, it was exactly like, probably not as bad. I've heard high school nowadays is worse, but probably very similar. I would have been class of '97.